I can only sit through so long without like rethinking my entire life. Why the fuck am I watching this again?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I doing this to myself? Scene. Okay, I think I'm ready.
Yeah,
You ready?
born ready, I guess.
All right. So, episode five, five, five. All right. So, I'm your host, hashtag Liizen, and we are here with
Kaze?
the one and only. All right. So, for Drunk Ambitions, episode five of the Raintime, there's a lot of confliction going on as we reiterate literally every episode that Will's losing his fucking mind. He's going nuts, you know? And it,
Yeah,
it starts to show more and more and more. Um, so conflicting advice. In the beginning, we meet with Evelyn. She's like
yeah,
the only female of the group. She's telling Will like we miss you and we wish that you'd come back, but you're kind of not being yourself. And at one part she actually tells William that uh he should try to be a little bit more nicer. So
yeah,
the issue he has with that, is what's probably running through his mind is what Lars had previously said to him about Jasmine. They were seeming like they were kind of hitting it off at first, and Lars kind of talks in his ear and tells him, you're too nice. Girls like that don't deserve that type of treatment. And so he decides, I'm kind of going to be an asshole to her, and he does his best to get away from her, while they're trying to initiate the sex, and it never happens. He
yeah.
completely bitches out, runs away.
Fucks up.
Yeah, worst thing a guy could do.
Yeah.
So, question number one becomes: have you ever been given conflicting advice from other people, and if so, what?
I tried to think of this beforehand, and yes, I have, but I can't remember off the top of my head, usually. But when I'm thinking the situation as he went through, one will be given advice that can be either leading to a positive or a negative outcome, but it also depends on the person. Like, where are they in their place? Like, since he was seemed to have a lot of alcoholic issues that
Yeah.
intoxicate the mind, since alcohol is classed as a drug, you become addicted and you can't really tell an alcoholic if you stop it. Like, if
Mhm.
it was that easy, it's
Yeah.
not. And I think because of that had an impact on how he changed and had conflicted with him. Like, these different advices. One is like be a douchebag, another one is be nice.
Hmm.
And usually it is like a group pressure to follow one lead than the other.
Yeah.
And as it seemed like he got a lot of group pressure to be like become a douche, and he went with it.
Hmm. Yeah. I can agree with that. I think one time in my life I got no, that's not one time. That's a lie. Millions of times I've got conflicting advice. It's like kind of, I guess, kind of like Will. As a kid, I was always the really quiet one. I was the kid who
Yeah.
sat in the back of the class. Like you wouldn't even know I was there. I was invisible to everybody,
Mm.
and I liked it that way. And I had a small, little, tiny group of friends. Like it was about 4 or 5 of us, and everybody else was so outspoken, and I was just like, nope, not me. So finally someone was like, you gotta speak up more because I'm soft spoken, so it's really easy for other people to like kind of talk over top of me because they got more bass in their voice, whereas I don't. If I talk loud, it's like I'm screaming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
finally I took that advice. You know what, I'm gonna start talking up, and The one time I did, I got punched in the face by a bully.
Yeah, like I have also had like ups and downs. Like when I was younger, talked way too much for my own. Like since I have ADHD, it makes me super talkative. But after a point in life, I will just shut it down,
Yeah.
a bit more calm, more quiet, more isolated. Like I used to be super extrovert. Now I'm like super introvert. I hate people.
Same
Like
here.
I hate people, but some people like everyone is an idiot. It's all about what kind of idiot you're into.
Mhm.
And there's a few idiots I love, and I consider them like my second family. And like 2 years from now or back, I joined this group called Gomdes Great Hall on via chat, and I was quiet, but I still was friendly with everyone and communicated a lot with people, and even got to the point where I deserved the highest staff position within the group
Mm.
because I was the only one listening, paying attention, whatever, gave advice. And now 2 years later, like during these years, I was very quiet in the beginning. Like people barely listened to me when I spoke because I spoke very low. And since I'm Swedish, I have an accent. And no shame on anyone, but I mean, some don't like accents.
Yeah.
And with the time, since now we have now changed the name of the group, the High Hall it's called now, still run by the same guy, super nice, and I have become more like I speak out, I mention things, I point things out, and let my say self be heard.
There you go.
But still, I have issues sometimes. Like I don't know, is it this the right thing to do? Is it the right thing to say? Can I do this? Should I do this? And sometimes when you just have to go with a gut feeling and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. But one thing we cannot condone is do not go with your gut feeling to stab people.
Yeah.
I almost went there one time. you know,
Go with a
and
gut feeling and think with your brain.
yeah. I had to think really, really hard. Yeah. It it wouldn't have been in my best interest to stab them, although I wanted to.
I can stab them in my mind.
Exactly.
No cutting, only carving.
Yeah, carve my name in their face.
Yeah, yeah, it's an old Swedish saying. No cutting, only carving.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So yeah, it's. I think somewhere along the line in life, as we start off as little innocent children,
Yeah,
we as we start to grow up, we start to see things a little bit differently. I can say if I met my younger self, I'd punch the little bastard in the face and tell him, "Hey, look, you don't know everything, all
yeah,
right?" But at the same time, it's like because we only live one time, we all can't really say how to live to another person, because the possibilities are endless.
mm,
Things that we learn every day, even like you and I, shut-ins, it's best to be inside the house than to be outside,
yeah. Like
So,
fuck the outside.
exactly, we still find new
Yeah,
things, we still learn new things, even if it's through a computer screen or
yeah,
whatever like that. We learn to adjust, and sadly, in the case of William, his
yeah.
adjusting skills is not too good.
The only thing that gets me outside is if Goth or Android say, or the rest of Scott, or if you have a live performance in the area.
Yeah, yeah. I aim to come out and play in Sweden one day. It's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's like on my goal board at home. It literally says like right there, play in
Mhm.
Sweden.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'll get you out the house one day.
of course.
So, question two. Uh, so during the scene where Will's at the restaurant.
Yes. The
So
fancy restaurant.
I know, right? Like a guy who drinks his money away, he sure has a lot of money to set aside for these nice
Yeah.
places, right?
Yeah, but as I understand, this is somewhere in Germany. So,
I think
I mean,
so,
they
yeah.
have very nice places.
Good point. I want to go to Germany one day
Mm.
just to see what it's like out there.
They have very, really, really nice locations
Yeah,
and also historical places. So,
yeah. Good point. I'm gonna get there one day.
mhm.
So OCD, how would you define that?
OCD, like perfectionist, such. I have encountered people with OCD, and some have more severe OCD than others, and it is noticeable. In one way, it is good to have a form of OCD because it's kind of similar to being a perfectionist in what I have seen. That means you keep an eye on things, you keep things tidy, even if it's like look like a mess. It's a perfect mess for them that they know what they are doing.
Yeah,
While some people that have an extreme OCD uh, can do stuff that can, in the long run, harm others. Even if one tell them, they might still do something.
yeah,
Like uh, someone I know, a friend, she has a very severe OCD. And like she has to tie the shoes every time. Like if there's shoes in the hallway, she needs to go and tie them. And
uh,
if one need to rush out the door, you don't have time to tie up things. And her dad is a fire worker,
mhm,
so he get calls around the clock and whatever. So he can't keep changing the shoes and shit. Like he
yeah,
can't tie them up. He needs to get them on and out the door.
yeah. Wow.
And in such cases, OCD can be very harming.
Yeah. Imagine trying to get your shoes on. You got to call, and your shoes are
Yeah,
tied, and they're too tight, and you can't get your foot in there.
yeah.
Dang. Okay. So, psychosis. How would you define that?
My English brain or non-English brain don't know what even that is.
Let's see. Irrational thoughts. What would you consider an irrational thought?
Mm, doing shit without really thinking, just doing them, and they might be more than what one maybe have asked for in one way.
So, during the scene where he's at that restaurant, do you feel like all three of those things are present?
In one way or another, because he started to fiddle with that salt jar a
Mm-hmm.
lot, and that is kind of like an thing, like you know, want to tidy things up, but still touching everything, and that is a brain stimulant. It's like kind of the same function like a fidget spinner or some
Yeah.
like something that stimulate the brain, and that was what it did for him because there was things going around on around him, like he was saying, like there was a lot of voices, a lot of people, the energy in there changed like a lot, and he needed something to fill it around with, which is very common with like people that have either some form of OCD or some other within the spectrum and such. Like even I have sometimes something like that,
Yeah.
and I guess that affected the rest of them. Like he became like he wanted to get out of the situation. Like he started to say like I think he wanted to throw that salt jar on people, have salt and glass shattered on these people that was talking, and that makes the mind think of escape routes. It's that fear and flight human behavior, and he wanted to flee out of the situation, but still be tough enough about it. He so that was when his rational thinking or acting came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And in the end, he ended up snatching that salt jar with him because it was something
Yeah.
of comfort with his hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did throw me off when he stole the salt shaker. It's like, dude, you're
Yeah, yeah,
losing
yeah.
your marbles, man. Who
Yeah.
the hell steals a salt shaker? Like for me,
I can say
my
one who have done that, but I'm not gonna mention any names.
that's bad. Yeah, my
Yeah.
guilty pleasure is pens. If I go into say like the bank, somehow I'll make my way home and realize, oh, got another bank pen. Wonder how that
Oh,
got
you're not
there.
like me. I setting my pencil behind my ears and forget about them.
That's more like with my glasses. I'll set them on my head. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh crap, where's my glasses? Walking around looking for them, and then they fall off my head. Oh, there they are. Huh?
Yeah.
Who put you
Like
guys
I
there?
says, I also have like long thick hair, but like back in school, they just put pencils in the hair and they stuck the tea bags even. Like I brought the OMT to the school because they wanted too much to have tea. Like you had to buy tea.
Yeah,
Like they wanted you to pay shit tons of money just for some warm water with flavor.
yeah, basically.
I'm like, nah,
Sounds like it.
hell that.
Luckily, I was given free food because if that wasn't the case in the school I was going to, yeah, I would be one hungry child.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, William's behavior,
Hmm.
something he said, when he got his food from the waiter and he looked at the pizza, it's like the further down this mental rabbit hole he goes, the more expressive he is about the things around him. Especially like
Yes.
what he said about Evelyn. That was really, really screwed up.
Yeah.
That was really bad. Um, he said that he felt almost convinced he was poisoning himself by eating a pizza.
Yes.
That really stuck out a lot to me.
Yeah. I was like, what? Mm. Search help.
Yeah,
Like search like a psychiatrist or something. Like he needs to talk out.
yeah,
Like I
definitely.
guess he's a young man. The things in the brain is getting going around. I mean, it's nothing wrong with searching for help. Like professional doctors exist out there.
Yeah, he's gonna need a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah,
So the question becomes, when the group that was next to him, that I guess in his own way he felt was bothering him, and it did come to them going back and forth and exchanging words. What he said to the girl, if there are any children present in this video, please close your ears for a moment.
fuck off.
You want to be fucked, don't you?
Yeah,
If you were in his case and in his shoes, and you had the decision to say something like that to somebody, would you have said that?
no, because that is both disrespectful and why the hell would one say something like that? I would understand if one said that in a public world on VI chat or IMVU, but other games or places like in person, that's just douchebag move.
I thought they were gonna beat his ass.
Yeah. Yeah, he like if he would have gotten beaten down, like he deserved it in that case. But then again, as I mentioned before, since he has alcoholic issues, it causes the brain to think more rational. Like you're injuring your brain, your body feels bad, you you're kind of harming yourself in the long run, and you start to act in a certain way. It's same or similar to like like over intake on sugar.
Oh,
Like you probably heard that people who drinks a lot of soda, they need to have a soda every day, and that gets
mm-hmm.
more soda, and they if they don't get it, they get more aggressive,
Yeah.
and negative, and
Mm-hmm.
they can just go a few hours without like some sugar, and they get aggressive and mad and angry. And it's common to see in like these reality shows when they show like people that try to get rid of this. And they usually remove the drink of the first few days after quitting drinking sugar drinks. They
Mm-hmm.
are angry, pissy, mad, rude. And that is because sugar is also classed as a drug in one way.
Yeah.
Because once you start drinking something with sugar, like soda, you want more and more and more.
Yep.
People have hard time, like some people have difficult to limit themselves. And they never notice that they become more nasty.
Mm-hmm.
It's not until someone pinpointed them out or maybe realized themselves that they actually have hurted someone they care for.
Yeah.
And I speak of this experience. I had used to have like a high sugar intake with like soda before, back in like when I was 15,
Mm-hmm.
and I became super nasty about it. Like if I didn't have any soda, and I have now tapped down on soda extremely a lot. Like I drink a soda, I have one bottle a month.
Yeah.
like one of those 2 liters bottles a month, and that lasts me more than a month.
Yeah, that's a good thing. It's beginning of this year. I was actually admitted to the hospital. I think I told you guys. My sugar was over 700. I should have been dead.
Yeah,
Like in a flat out coma or just clack, killed
yeah,
over. And what started it honestly was soda. I
yeah.
hadn't had it for a long time, and my girl, she bought those off-brand sodas, so
Ah,
they're not really
those are even more
monitored.
worse.
Yeah, they're not monitored. They just
Mm,
say, okay, let me just pour some sugar and some Coke in here. There you go. Nobody's really they're not gonna notice it. They'll come back and get some more, and that's
yeah,
exactly what happened. I had
mm,
one, and I'm like, okay, this is good. This is really
yeah,
good. Okay, had
yeah,
two, six
yeah,
later, the whole container later, the next
yeah.
container later, went to Walmart and I was like, shit, I need more, 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 more. Bought a
Yes.
whole chocolate cake, ate the whole fucking thing to myself, had cookies, had this, had that. And
Yes.
next thing I know, literally like the next day, that technically that same morning, I drove my girl to work and I'm seeing double vision. The cars are all over the place and
Yeah.
my hands are shaking and I felt like I was dying and I'm driving, pushing 80, 90. Don't drive like me, kids. I'm a
Yeah.
speedaholic. And I get to the damn bridge and I really thought I took that car over the edge because
Yeah.
I'm seeing shit, I'm hallucinating, and I'm like, oh,
Mm,
come on, this can't be happening. Like, not right now.
yeah.
And my one side of my brain is like, dude, just pull the fuck over and take a nap. Maybe you're just tired because you got like 3 hours of sleep, but it's like, I'm used to not getting sleep.
Yeah.
It never gets like this.
Yeah.
And I'm getting rashes in places I shouldn't get rashes. And finally, I said, you know what? I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna lay the hell down. I get home, take a nap. I wake up. I feel semi better. I'm like, okay, all right. Nope. The whole entire day, I had to drive back to go pick her up from work and same thing. And finally she's like, you know what? Just go to the hospital. Just go. And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, dude, your fucking sugar is crazy. Like, you're not taking care of yourself. And I told them what happened. And they're like, yeah, you got a caffeine addiction.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna have to wean you off this. I think I was there for what, like 3, 4 days, and when they finally got my sugar down, it was just like the world was being seen through like new eyes. Like I
Mm,
seen things differently because I've never had that happen.
yeah. And it's just an experience.
Yeah. And it's like afterwards, it was like, yeah, coming down from sugar highs, you are
Yeah.
pissed off and angry at everything and
Yeah.
everybody. A frog could look at you sideways. You looking at the frog. What the fuck are you looking at, bitch ass
Yeah.
frog? Go hop away.
Yeah.
you
You
know?
told me to get the fuck off my property.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot that fucking frog. Don't look at me like that. You know,
Yeah.
it could be a rock, and you're pissed
Mm,
off at it just because of the way it's shaped. And
yeah.
I think that if I was in Will's case, because I personally do have explosive anger issues,
Mm,
so it's like if certain things piss me off, I go from 0 to 1,000. That's why
yeah.
I try to warn people, like, man, you're starting
Mm,
to make me mad. I'm
yeah.
not held responsible for if I put your head through that fucking wall. You know,
Mm,
just nah, relax, back up
yeah.
off me because you're not gonna like what's gonna happen afterwards. So I,
Yeah.
I think I probably would have said that. Not meaning really, like in reality, really meaning to, but it would have probably
Mm,
just came out, and I think that's what happened to Vince.
yeah.
Or
Because like
Vincent.
how people react with like anger and such like that,
Yeah.
it differs from person to person. Like when I get pissed, people don't notice this because I hide it.
Mm.
Like, and people don't notice it, but I have a point where I will fucking snap, and you're gonna have to start writing your will and pray that you live.
Yeah. Yeah. Anger's a bitch, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But then again, since I have that issue that I keep the anger in the long run, it is not good.
It's not.
So I don't have a relief of anger.
Yeah. Let me tell you, get a bat and like go to like a yard sale and buy one of those really shitty ass kid bikes for like $5. Take that bat and fuck that bike up. That's a good release.
Oh, don't destroy the bike. You know the first mission in GTA San Andreas is to steal the bike.
Oh
Then
yeah,
you
good
beat it
point.
up.
Yeah, and then throw it in the ocean somewhere.
I mean, the ocean have enough problem.
Yeah, good point. It's got sharks in
Yeah, I mean,
it.
they were there before the human was walking the earth.
Good point. I watched a video the other day. A lady saved a shark. She took it had a hook in its mouth.
Yeah.
She took the hook out of its mouth, and since then she's been doing it for all these like 300 different sharks.
Mm.
Um, and they've become her friends.
Yeah,
Like
they're like puppies.
yeah, and they look so soft. Like she's petting its head, and its eyes like rolling up in the back of its head, and
Yeah,
it just seems so happy. I would be
yeah,
freaked out.
yeah. But then again, a shark has like a sensitive nose, so like you can pet them in a certain way and they get paralyzed, kind of a deal,
Oh,
so they remain still.
yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I think it was like something along the line that they get paralyzed and whatever for a like short moment of time.
Yeah, kind of
Because
like a
that is where
cat.
like that is kind of where their sensor is, where when they swim around in the ocean.
Yeah. Oh wow. Well, at least now I know what happens to my cat when I pet him a certain way. Like he likes it right between like his neck and his chin, and then he just
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah,
that. Like he
yeah.
freezes up for a moment.
Yeah, it's kind of similar with the cat. Cat has like a sensory glands around the cheeks and around the
Mm-hmm.
shin. So that's when they go like stroking their shin on everything. They marking. Like if
Yeah.
a cat strokes their shin on you, they'll be like, "I own you now.
Yeah.
You're my like butler. You're my room service."
You're my bitch now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you feed them, you clean their litter box. All they do is like shit, eat, and sleep.
Yeah. And scratch up the carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah. My carpet at home looks like hell. Like it ran through a sandstorm, but that tiny itty bitty sandstorm is my cat.
Yeah.
It's messed up. But yeah. So on to our final question. Um the light show. The light show. So this is
Yes, the
towards
firework.
towards the end of the chapter.
The
Again,
epilepsy warning.
yeah, definitely. I always do epilepsy warnings for that type of
Advice
stuff.
next time, just give it like a few more seconds before because that was very quick between them. Like I don't have epilepsy issues, but like give it a few seconds beforehand.
Yeah. I have to work on my timing for things like
Yeah,
that. So everybody there seems kind of, I guess, metonymous is the word, kind of
yeah,
dull and just lifeless, as Will describes everybody.
yes.
We can't really go off of his descriptions too well. Um, but at the end of the fireworks show and everything's counted down, he says that, one bottle gets popped and then another
Mm.
over there and then another over there and then another over there. And he's,
Yes.
describing what 8 different bottles being popped. So something I thought of was at the light show, do you think that that was an example of herd behavior?
In one way, yes, but at the same time, also no, since this with popping a bottle at the New Year's, it is more of a tradition that has been going on for years, ages, generations. Like the people that popped the bottles saw their parents pop the bottles, their grandparents, and it's been going on for generation. So in one way, it is. You could say a social behavior more than a herd behavior because the human is originally a social creature. Like they lived in groups back in the days,
Yeah.
and it is kind of a social behavior because we mimic everyone else. that is a kind of human trait. We mimic other people. Someone do something, we do the same.
Yeah,
And yeah, in one way, he is not far from wrong.
yeah. I thought that up all by myself.
Yeah.
I think in its own way, like based off the way he's describing it, it feels like herd behavior. Like he's that kind of like that black sheep that sees everything that's going on, although it comes off like everybody else is unaware.
Mm,
But then also with his descriptions of people that are very morbid and unnecessary sometimes.
yeah.
He's describing like the little kid and the fat people and the skinny people and the tall people and the
Mm,
short people, and it's like he's noticing these things
yes.
while everybody else seems to be kind of like focused on these bright loud firecrackers in the sky.
Yeah.
And it's like they're they're in their own world, and he's split between two worlds. He's between
Yeah.
the world that's made up in his mind
Mm,
because of the alcohol abuse and him wanting to seem to really want to escape the life that he's in, versus the world that's previewed around him.
yeah.
It's like he's stuck. He wants to
Mm,
get out, but I mean, what could he really do? How do
yeah.
you escape you?
Yeah. Like the thing is, he thinks he's a special snowflake. That is the issue also. Like he thinks it's, oh, the world is depressing and sad. It's so sad about him. He sounds like some fucking person from Feralheart, the drama llamas. In one way, the Edidor drama llamas, remember?
Yeah.
But in the same way, sometimes like his friends try to help him out, like giving him advice, maybe a bit conflicting advice from his point of view, because sometimes if someone gives you an honest answer to a situation, it might be conflicting to you, like might sound good to me, but conflicting to you. And sometimes that last step you have to take on your own. And the way I see it, he need to search professional help, like go and talk to someone, go to like a doctor, like a therapist or psychiatrist or whatever, and get help, like talk things out, because in the long run he will end up in a bad place. Like since he's relying a lot on alcohol to get loose, like get out of it, like the issues. Well, alcohol shouldn't be the answer on getting away from a problem.
Yeah, I can attest to that. All it does is eat at your pockets.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, he will end up in a very bad place. I'm not telling
Mm,
anybody where, you guys got to watch it.
yeah.
So,
I haven't really watched all episodes, but I can sense and predict it. I have a good predicament judgment
yeah,
sense.
he's screwed. We'll just leave it at that. But it's for me, okay, I'll go last. What could you say that you've taken away from this episode?
It had made me think on how one should view things around one, because as he seems, he's very judgmental of people around one. I haven't really been the kind of person that is judgmental, but the way that he's thinking about other people without really knowing them is kind of a disrespectful way, and that since of his alcoholic issues, it can give him a false view of a person, like a fake representation of a person,
Mm, yeah,
and it can make him actually believe these fake lies. And believing in lies is even worse.
yeah,
Like if when started, like if someone keep telling you a lie and you start to believing it, it
true.
just it's both harmful. It's bad. Like you start to believe one lie, you can start to believe other lies.
Yeah, I like that answer.
Mm,
Yeah, it's what is it? It's a quote that Hitler said, wasn't it? Uh, when you shit, I'm not even gonna try it. I feel like I'm gonna butcher it.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm not that educated on the quotes. I will remember them when this call is over.
yeah, we're gonna do like us millennials do. We're gonna Google
Yeah.
Google. Uh, oh, there it is. If you tell a big enough lie and tell it frequently enough, it will be believed.
Yes.
Yeah. And I totally agree with that. And the sad part is that a lot of things that we're taught
Mm.
and we learn in some form have originated from a lie.
Yes.
You know, like literally, if you are a little child, do not just go watch something else for a minute.
Mm. Fuck off.
Yeah. You know, as kids, we're told about the Tooth Fairy and
Yeah.
Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny. You know, even if you're not
Yeah.
religious, you still believe in these things.
Yeah, because it kind of gets enforced upon people, or
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
one create these small lies.
Yeah, and in some cases, you know, I've heard it as a kid. You know, it's just a little white lie. It
Mm.
won't hurt them. You know, growing up, I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Then
Bunnies
again,
don't lay eggs.
sometimes like I have had kind of funny things with like some religious people that do these, like the Easter Bunny, the Santa Claus, and they've been lying about it. And I said, like, doesn't it say in those 10
Hmm.
lines of God, like, you shall not lie?
Yeah,
And they stand and lie to a child.
exactly. And then it's like those are mental pieces you later have to pick up if you didn't put them there. Like I told my kids straight out, like, look, Santa Claus is a crock of shit. I'm the
Yeah.
fucking one buying your presents. You know, like come on.
Yeah.
Come on, a fat guy. We don't even have a fucking chimney. How's he getting in here? His
Yeah.
fat ass is not crawling through a 2-story
And it
window.
doesn't sound so good for an old man keeping an eye on all children if they are
Right.
nice.
And then it's like, how do we
That would
tell?
be like FBI open up.
Yeah, and it's like pedophile shit. You know that there's a
Yeah.
guy that's keeping a list that if you're naughty or you're nice, like,
Mm.
why are you watching me?
Yeah.
But
And
it's
then
like it's
then he wants you to give him cookies and shit. I'm like, no, that's my cookies.
yeah, like bitch. My mom and daddy bought them. I'm not giving them to you, and some milk
Yeah.
too. Well, damn, take the refrigerator. Why don't you?
Yeah.
That's. I'm sorry. No, I
Here, have some raisin cookies and water.
yeah. Like I couldn't lie to my kid
Yeah.
because it's like as a child myself, you know, being told like, oh yeah, Santa's gonna buy this, that, and the other, you know, it's like, oh okay, you know, my pop,
Bullshit.
yeah, my pop said he was gonna buy me a fucking Xbox as a kid, okay, and
Mm.
he didn't raise me from hell. And I'm waiting. Year goes by. It's Christmas time. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that. No, fucking reality went bam right in my head. Yeah, daddy ain't doing that shit for you.
Mm.
Neither is Santa Claus.
As you, as usual with this. And also that can also makes like blaming things on Santa and such, like
Mm-hmm.
at least with younger kids, like they might start to ask why do they get less fancier stuff while other kids might have gotten something really fancy.
Mm-hmm.
And believing in like the tooth fairy is like begging for money.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually it is you get the fucking coin underneath the pillows and shit or whatever you do with the teeth. It's
Mm-hmm.
like begging for money,
Yep.
and that's just wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I can agree. It's fucked up. I remember like one time I lost 2 teeth at once. Bit into a damn hot dog, my teeth fell out. And I'm like, oh, score, you know, that bitch gonna pay me today.
Yeah.
That shit under my pillow. But the thing was, I didn't tell my mom because I believed that lie, you know? And the next day comes, I'm getting ready for school, and I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. I got some, you know, money to trade with my friends and buy some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Turn my pillow over. My teeth are still there. Okay, all right. Maybe she'll come while I'm in school. Go to school, come back, teeth still there.
Uh, she's on the
Okay.
day off.
Yeah, like, okay, maybe she's sick. All right. Whole week goes by. I was like, you know what? Fuck the tooth fairy. She can eat a dick. I hope that bitch get hit
Yeah.
by a bus.
Yeah.
I just became so angry. And then when I told my mother, that's when I started to put it together. I was like, Mom, I lost 2 teeth and the tooth fairy didn't give me anything. I think she hates you because I'm black, you know?
Yeah.
My mom's looking like, what the fuck is wrong with you? She's like, you what? I was like, I lost 2 teeth. And she, oh, she just had this look on her face like, oh shit. Not like concerned, but like she forgot to do something.
It's like, oh shit, you got busted.
Yeah, and it took me a few days, and I started to put it together because right after we had that conversation, why $2 appeared under my pillow. I'm like days later, I'm sitting in class, and you know how you have that sudden realization. I'm
Yeah.
just motherfucker.
Yeah.
So my teacher's like, "What?" And I'm
I
pop.
was just talking, like, I mean, motherfucker that's talking about one's dad, or.
Yeah, I was like Pop Tarts, and he's like, "Yeah, I heard you. You're written up," and I'm, God damn it. He's like, "That's 2 write-ups." I'm, ah.
Ah,
Yeah,
jeez.
it was bad when I got home. I told my mother, I was like, "I know what you're doing. Why would you do this to me?" And she explained like it's just a thing that people do with their kids, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm crying on the inside. I'm hurt. I was expecting to catch that
Mm.
bitch one day, and now I'll never see her because she was a lie. You know, it gives you false hope. That's
Yeah.
the best way to put it. Like America's fucked up. Do they do that in Sweden?
I mean, Sweden is not perfect.
Yeah. Damn.
So, I mean, people do everything like Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus. Not really the Easter Bunny thing, like we mentioned the Easter Bunny, but it's not really that it lays eggs and shit because we are not that stupid.
Oh well, we are.
Yeah.
I believe for the longest, and then I was like, what, 13, and I'm, wait a minute, don't they have live births? So where the fuck do
I
the
mean,
eggs
they're
come from?
mammals.
Right, like you start to piece things together, and in some cases, my friends they didn't even think about it. They were like, so, and I'm just like, dude, we got lied to. Like, come
Like one
on.
stupid ass realized, like, oh shit.
Yeah, like I felt smart and dumb at the same time. Like, why am I 13 years old and I'm just realizing this shit?
Like I understand some part of these lies, like they want to the children to have an imagination because if you remove the
Yeah,
imagination, you become very dull as an adult. It's good to be
90% of
able to
adults.
fantasize, and especially like if you want to do like this, like podcast, it's good to have a good imagination and fantasy so you
Mhm.
can improvise and do shit. Invisible props, as one call it, which is a
Mm,
very good thing to be able to do. But without imagination, you're less happy, more or less.
yeah. And it sucks because even though they lied to us as kids, we still grow up to be shitty adults.
Yes, no escape from that.
Yeah, sucks. Life is so cruel.
I mean, uh, who said it would be easy?
I mean, it would be nice to, you know,
I mean, I didn't get the travel brochure when I came to life. I mean,
I know
that would
me
be
either.
nice.
Yeah, like if I could have picked a place to be born, it would probably be Japan.
I mean, and can't argue about that.
Yeah, that'd be the first place I'd want to be born in. But I got Philly in the poor area.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not mad of my place. I mean, I love northern Sweden. It's gorgeous. I'm not forced to wear a face mask when I go outside like other countries.
Yeah. Sadly, the assholes out here in America think that they know everything, and they're just spreading the shit around, making it worse. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's just across the water, so it stays there.
don't worry, I'll ship some of them over, and you guys can
No
have them.
thanks. Sweden is enough fucked up. Everyone think like, oh, Sweden is peaceful. No, the criminality have been raising like rocket high lately.
Really?
Yeah, like it's fucking disgusting. Like
Yeah.
people are just going into people's yard, like killing kids, pets. Yeah.
Seriously? Holy shit!
Yes, recently, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, someone woke up in the morning, came out to see their pet bunny being like, put on a spear.
Holy shit!
Yeah. And there's like South Sweden has always been like vandalizing and shit. And that was a question I was wondering, like, what do crushing, destroying stores down in South Sweden help America? Because people would be like, "Oh, we do this to help America." I'm like, "What does that help America?
That's not helping at
America
all.
doesn't need help. It needs like
Professional help.
yes, Sweden is far from professional.
Yeah, we need a life size therapist to
Yes.
just come in across America, just
Yeah.
one big fucking tidal wave.
Yeah. It's like I predict this. Since the corona wave, like it's calmed down, and now when the second wave is coming out,
Mhm.
however, like I'm pretty sure it's gonna go another dip. Like it's gonna be all clear. People gonna go out celebrate, and then when the second wave comes, it's everyone gonna many people gonna be wiped out. Just like it was it the Spanish flu back in
Mhm.
1920s?
Yep.
Because I remember reading an article like back in school about America during that war. That it was during the war, and the Spanish flu. It came calm. The war was pretty much over, I guess, at the time. And people went out on the street celebrating. Just a few like days, week after a second wave of the Spanish flu came, and a lot of people like just perished in the flu.
Yep. Because everybody thinks they know everything, and that's just how
Yeah.
America is. We like to be number one at everything. Well, guess what? We're
Yeah.
number one in leading cases of dead people because nobody wants to wear a damn mask. It's a
Like
mask.
I tell you, the day you join on via chat, I want to take you into a public world. There's this bar that is very popular, and I'm gonna sit there and judge the American education system with you. You should join
Oh,
me.
that would be great.
Yeah, like I usually hang around with some Finnish friends, and when they speak Finnish with each other, like I can understand like 5-10% of what they're saying.
Hmm.
But if we have Americans running up to us and be like, "Oh, you're speaking Spanish? Are you speaking Italian? Are you speaking French?" I'm like, "You dumb."
Wow. I guess I can find myself on that thing is like I can hear the differences in dialects and other languages. Like uh, as a kid, we had the
Yeah.
poppy store on one end, and then we had the Chinese store down the other
Mm,
end, and then right down Wagner, there's
yeah.
like a different array of stores. So it's like you kind of start to pick up on different languages
Yeah.
and whatnot like that. But a lot of people are not as good as I am.
Yeah, and like when I sit with these people, we just have a joke. Like I have a bingo thing on my side of my other computer to see how many language do the Americans says today. Like, is it like Spanish, Italian, French? I'm like, even Portuguese was at one point. I'm like, how do you mix up Spanish and Finnish? They don't even sound similar.
Some people should just not talk.
Yeah, and at one point I did actually pinpoint out like I'm sorry for your education system is failing, and they got super
Yeah,
salty about it. But I mean, hey, I'm just speaking the truth.
it is the truth. The American system is the only thing that's unchanging, and we actually had there was a guy that was going around making like these videos, like educational videos,
Hmm.
talking about the education system, how it needs to change. What is his name? Think he was like King something. I can't remember his name. He's a black guy, and
Yeah,
he's saying like these are all the things that we need to do. So then he started going off and making other videos about like home settings and like abusive relationships and taking control of your life. It's like that's the type of shit that we need in school.
yeah.
That's the stuff that we need to be learning how to better ourselves as human beings.
Finland don't get homework.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, and I think they only go to school like 2-3 hours a day.
See, that would be nice.
I'm like,
That'd be really nice.
I switch country for that, but lucky enough I'm not in school anymore. But still, I mean,
Yeah.
2-3 hours. Geez, don't
Yeah.
mind if I do.
Right. Like my kid, she's been homeschooled since before the virus, and it's like when she was in school, she didn't really learn too much of anything. She was
Mm,
still struggling in reading. She'd been in school since what? Jesus, preschool. She took preschool twice because we moved
mm,
in the middle of the year, and then she took kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and she was still struggling with reading, still struggling with math. I was like, you know what, can't do this. Shit started happening at school, and I swapped her education. you know Brick and mortar can suck ass. Took her online. I mean, she's home every day, but as far as her growing as a person, she can count forwards, backwards. I can give her a thick ass chapter book and she'll sit her ass down and she'll read it. It's like if we just change the way that we look at things, and this is only for a few hours a day, you
Yeah.
know, that she's doing these things. And it's like I can walk out, go work on a song, and come back and she's done her homework.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
and also like how I understand why Finland have dropped down like on the educational time is because kids should be kids. You only kid for one
mhm.
time in your life, and once you're over, people are gonna complain and be like, "Oh, why didn't you do that when you was a kid?" I spent fucking 7 to 8 hours in a fucking classroom.
Exactly. Yep. That's America for you, though. Yeah. Yeah. But we're gonna wrap things up. I think this is the longest session I've ever had.
I mean, we have a lot to talk about and a lot
I
to guess
know.
got off subject.
Yeah, but I mean, I still believe it all comes full circle because it's
Yeah.
like the things that Will goes through
Mm.
is a lot of things that are connected to reality. Things that we actually do go through here. I've dealt with drug addicts for parents. My mother was also an alcoholic growing up. So it's
Mm.
like, you see these certain signs and you see these things, and it's
Yeah.
like, it's so easy to just see a person who might be a drunk or
Mm.
whatever their Achilles heel is, and
Yeah.
you see it for yourself physically. But then
Yeah.
to actually play a game and you start to see how that person is internally and what they think, it's like it really gave me a different type of respect for my mother, and for
Yeah.
other people who do fight alcoholism. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are fighting a hell of a battle.
Yeah. And it's not easy. It's like I class alcohol and smoking at the same class. Like you can tell them to stop, but just telling them once won't help. And
Hmm.
it's also depending on the individual. Like, do they want to stop or do
Hmm.
they try? And sometimes trying, they need help and support. It's a long road back. Like I had a very alcoholic mother, and sadly, in the end, she died from an alcohol overdose.
I'm sorry.
And that was like 13, 14 years ago now. But like alcohol is a nasty thing,
Yeah.
and also that's when also young people, like not only adults, young people like teenagers starting drinking, they'd be like, oh, it's cool, they had to do it because their friends doing it.
Right.
And that's a big no. Don't do that just because friends doing that. They're only gonna make you look stupid.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
burning cash when you're young. You're gonna need that cash as an adult, trust me. uh like, okay, like if you want to have like a beer to some a steak sometime nowadays, a barbecue, fine, enjoy that. New Year's Eve, want
Hmm.
something, treat yourself, but don't see it as a solution to get out of a situation, or
Yeah.
don't let it become like candy and addiction.
Yeah. See, we got to get you on one of those sponsorship ads.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe for some other type podcast we can talk more about these kind of stuff.
Oh, definitely. I really want to do something like that because it's so much in the world to be
Yeah.
explored and talked about. And because of our lack of talking about a lot of
Yeah.
different things, people just go on about their own ignorance. And if we can be a step forward in
Yeah.
guiding these misguided
Yeah.
souls, that'd be great.
Yeah. And when you speak the fucking honest truth.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't fight with that.
Yeah. Because
Definitely.
people be like trying to sugarcoat everything.
Hmm.
And sometimes you have to give the harsh truth, even if it might hurt, but sometimes that's from the pain you learn.
Exactly. Exactly. I can agree with that. But yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up, my friend.
Yeah.
I know. So sad to see you go.
Eh, I mean, we can talk other times whenever you feel like talking while working, have someone to chat to. I'm always up.
I know. You're like a night owl.
Yeah.
But
Sleeping, what is that?
yeah.
What's that thing? It's something I haven't heard about in a long time.
Yeah, same. I've had to start buying sleeping pills just to knock
Mm.
myself out, and then it literally like I took some yesterday. It was what 12, and all I wanted was a nap because my brain gets overstimulated sometimes. I got so much
Mm.
shit going on I'm trying to do, and I'm like, all right, I'll take a quick nap, like 2 3 hours, and I'll be good. 12 1 o'clock, I took it. I did not wake up.
Naps don't work. You fall asleep,
Yeah.
then you wake up and be like, did my mouth turn into Sahara Desert and what year is it?
Yeah. It's like you look outside, it's dark as hell, or it looks like the sun's coming up, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm looking, I'm what the fuck?
I
Oh
mean,
no.
last time I did attempt taking a nap, I slept for 2 days straight and woke up.
Holy shit.
So that's why I don't take naps. I sleep at night or early in the morning, depending on.
Yeah.
Since I don't have work or school or whatever,
Hmm.
I have to take care of myself. But like at least I get some sleep. So I just rotate it how I want it. And since I
Okay.
live where it's dark entire winter, so I have to spend time out in the sun. Otherwise, I will be depressed during the winter.
Yeah. Same. Same.
Yeah.
I feel you on that one. Winter sucks ass.
Like I love the winter. I love the darkness, but in the long run, it becomes very boring since it's all white. It's all
Yeah.
white, and then the ice hurts and whatever.
Yeah, and then it's like if you're inside and you're going outside, it's super freaking bright. It's like, what the hell is going
The
on? The
only good thing with
lights.
the winter side, I can wear hoodies again without dying.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, I agree. But all right, my
yeah,
friends, I'm your host #Liizen, and we are here with
Kaze.
yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Subscribe, be cool, hit the
And
like
listen to
button.
listen.
Hell yeah, listen to my music. There's like 1,000 songs like everywhere. I've done like what, like 60 songs.
I think it's almost more than that.
Yeah. And even the ones I haven't released yet. So go listen to my music. It'll be the best 3 minutes of your life ever.
It's better than alcohol.